Hey guys, Desolate Magic here. It's time for Mark Rosewater's big preview post where he kind of teases at things that are factually actually in Midnight Hunt, the upcoming standard set. And remember, in just a couple days on, I believe, September 2nd, we're going to be seeing some actual spoilers. But for now, he basically gives things you're going to see, just a description of them, and then actual text on cards, and then just a list of all the funniest creature types, really. And for the first part, he seems to get some kind of sick kick out of, like, making us worry. And not even like unfoundedly worry, because look at the last 3 years, and even he and I will be the first to warn you, oh, this isn't the full story, so if it sounds like some horrific game-ending awful thing, he might be excluding the downside or the additional casting costs or the fact that it's a 15-cost spell, you know, something like that. But then again, I mean, look at how many bans we've had, and every single one of those cards shouldn't have been printed. So let's jump into it. Remember, I haven't read any of these yet. This is my initial impression because that's way more fun. So, first up, 3 popular mechanics previously seen on Innistrad Return. I assume he means the original Innistrad and the Return, not just the Return, but he did say Return. He might mean previously seen on this Return to Innistrad. You know what, 3 pass mechanics, I like a lot of the Innistrad mechanics, whatever, let's go. It does, honestly, with it being 3, seem kind of lazy, but he could, like... I mean, in theory, you could be talking about like lifelink and like death touch. I don't know. So next up, a new drawback for creature tokens that lets us create them cheaper. First thing that pops into my mind is you could wait for like a trigger or something or pay mana, or you could just pay life. I'm kind of worried if it's like pay 2 life, create a token, because people just go ding, 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 and then, you know, heal from it or give them all lifelink or, you know, something real atrocious. I hope that's not it. But also, the only, like, going wide, which means, like, a whole bunch of creatures in play at once right now that I've seen, it's very rare, really, is either the Spirit Boast Mono White thing, which is kind of gimmicky, doesn't always work, not even, honestly, as strong as Mono Red Goblin Rush. Its only thing is it's flying and it's fairly durable, and I think White has some Resurrection or something, but it's pretty heavily assisted already, the other one that I've seen, by the White Landfall enchantment that, you know, brings out a cat. Or drops in 1/1 counters. I saw somebody flood Scoot Swarms with the life gain triggers and all this crap in white-green already, and Selesnya is usually the... I wouldn't even say the Blitz colors, it's usually literally Selesnya, like the guild from Ravnica that does go wide token dump. That's why I hate when people are like, this is a Selesnya deck. Oh, how many cards are from Selesnya? None! Okay, that's not confusing, thanks. So if whatever they're planning for token dump and go wide styles are that, oh boy, but... who knows? I mean, if it's life loss is going to be a black mechanic, I would think. So, you know, I don't know. Guess we'll see it. Next up, a white card that could potentially draw you a card each turn. Okay. That went over so well last time they did it. If it is tied to life gain, that's it. The game's over. Because right now, Angel Life Gain is like the #1 deck in the world. I don't care what anybody's statistics say. I'm here on the ground playing, you know, 50, 100 matches a day on Arena. They're not. I don't know what kind of bullshit third-party tracking these websites claim to have, but White doesn't need an automatic card draw engine, especially if it's tied to Life Gain. That is going so far that they might as well just announce they're banning it right now. But then again, like I said, Mark likes to scare us with things that, you know, sound completely absurd. This could be a 7-cost card that goes away after a turn. Who knows? It could be white equipment where you have to hit them and it gives you a negative attack power. I mean, we don't know. All those would fit. That would be awful, but I'm just picturing a guaranteed extra card every turn, and we already have that with the Coconut Elixir, so I'd like to think they wouldn't be that stupid, but we all know they would. Next up, a popular Innistrad card gets reprinted. Okay, I could have told you that 3 months ago. That is literally nothing. I'd be more surprised if they didn't do that. Next up, a curse that transforms into a creature. Ooh! And curses are almost always auras that are attached directly to an opponent. And I really wanted them to come back because curse cards are absolutely freaking hilarious. But this one, under some circumstance, turns into a creature. That's just cool. I love everything about that. Watch, it'll be the most broken completable card ever, and then we've got that clip. Wow, guys, it'll be great, I assure you. It'll be the greatest gift to Magic ever. Totally won't backfire. It's possible you might have to put it on yourself, and then, like, once you get to a certain low life total, then it flips into, like, a hyper-powerful creature. I mean, we don't know. Like, why would you want a curse that's, like, pinging away at their life total, or, like, screw with their graveyard, or whatever it does, to, like, jump off and then suddenly be a creature? It's already probably good enough as a curse, so now I'm kind of wondering. Next up, Mark, I swear to God, how do you still have a fucking job there? 2 permanents. 2, that can double something every turn. How about Wizards of the Coast doubles your pink slips and fires you twice? How about that? Well, the whole set's gonna be shit. I've already given up on it, and I don't care what they double. It's gonna be bullshit, because you know why? Didn't work for Scoot Swarm. Didn't work for, what was that, Angelic Aura or Divine Aura or whatever. Didn't work for that stupid Hydra card. That thing was overpowered as shit if you put it on a hexproof creature. Nothing in the entire game should ever be doubled. No ETB triggers, no abilities, none of this lethal form bullshit. Nothing should ever be doubled. Spells should not be cloned. Counters should not be doubled. Nothing should be doubled. Okay? Nothing. And he says every turn. So that goes 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, because he's apparently too stupid to realize that. Yeah, this set's gonna be shit. Both of those better be banned. I'm already completely disinterested in this set because of that stupid fucking line right there. You know what? I'm changing the title of this video. Next up, a mythic cycle with you may pay cost any number of times. Yeah, that's literally just multi-kicker, strive. If it's in mythic and it's a cycle, it means it's there's gonna be 5 of them, all 5 colors. Might be a 6 colorless one. Sometimes they do that. Not usually. Especially not usually in mythic. But yeah, I don't know. That could be anything. So whatever. Next up, a 4 mana blue aura with you control enchanted creature. Because we needed more stealing in the game. Yeah, did not want that. Didn't ask for it. This is one above Kefnets and one below the squid face thing from D&D. Yeah, that's not a good CMC to settle in with for stealing their biggest shit. But remember, it might say, CMC 2 or less. It won't, but that's how he likes to write these. It's actually usually worse than what he says on average. It says you control enchanted creature, take another turn after this one. Next up, a popular tournament card in multiple formats gets reprinted with its 5th piece of art. I could probably figure out what that is, but I don't give enough of a shit. Popular tournament cards, so some overpowered Commander, Modern, Legacy, Vintage shit being injected into Standard. I mean, 5th artwork, it could be freaking, Evolving Wilds. It could be, Cancel. I doubt it, though. He don't play like that. Whatever you think it is, it's probably worse. Next up, a character from Innistrad once mentioned in a short story finally gets a card in an Innistrad set. That, I can get behind that no matter what it is. Filling in the gaps in the lore and going back to some little obscure reference and telling people what it actually is and who they are and making them a real card, that's just cool. Okay, we're finally out of that section from hell, which I really only take issue with 2 of those. 1.5 of them, honestly. So the next section is text that will be on cards. If your life total would be reduced to 0 or less. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Another cannot lose the game. Just absolute shit fest, I'm sure. It might just be a hang-on card. Most of them are phrased that exact way, where it's like, oh, then it becomes 1. It's just like, what, Angelic or whatever? Angelic Gift, I think, where it's like, if it'll be reduced to 0 or less, you, it doesn't just say you can't lose the game, it'll, prop it up by 1 or whatever. Next up, this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you attacked with this turn. Oh boy, that sounds like a green card. Ooh. That might not be too bad, but I mean, you might be able to launch something. If it's a boost, if it's anything other than a boost, okay, whatever. If it's a boost and it applies to every creature that attacked and that also lessens the cost, I'd like to think they wouldn't do that, but they absolutely would do that. And probably right after it says and grant them trample. Next up, as card name enters the battlefield, note your life total. Oh good, more silent tracking that you get to argue about and get out a sticky note. Wonderful. It's more digital friendly crap. That's what they've been doing lately. Next up, put a slime counter on up to 1 other target creature. The hell are slime counters doing here? That's just weird. At the Harvest Festival, has the Jello mold come to life? They should have an itis counter for when people eat way too much and then they just fall asleep. And then they gotta wake up by removing the itis counters. Can't fight that itis. Next up, creature tokens you control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 3/3. Kind of loosely implies that they might have abilities in the first place, but that might just be blanket text for they become incredibly dumb, brainless, mindless, whatever. I'm getting the vibe from all these that something more than what we think is going on in this set, so I'm more interested in lower than the cards now, especially with 2 doublers in the set. F***ing Mark Rosewater, what an asshole. Next up, oh, I can't imagine what this one ends with. Each instant and sorcery card in your grave has... I wonder, guys. Spell recursion from the graveyard is bad enough already. Okay, we don't need more of it. It might say you can cast it till end of turn or something. It might not be that bad, but it's, like I said, usually worse than what he puts there. Next up, instants and sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast where X is card name's power. Oh my god, that honestly almost sounds like Storm Enabler. Well, I mean, it is. It's just, did they put the rest of the Storm crap in as well? Like, are we just going to see the 5th cloned resurgence of the Izzet Guild where, you know, red-blue just goes nuts with, oh, I'm going to cast a bunch of crap for free? Because you can get some of these spells down to near free. And that is going to be a problem. Now, this could be a 7 cost, card. Who knows? The other thing is, it sounds like you got to build up the power or drop counters on it another way. And then you're looking at like a 3-card combo. Then you run out of cards in your hand. So can you even draw? But if this card, whatever this is, even resembles something that could vaguely be put into like a blue, white based, possibly splash other color control deck, that's it. It's over. And remember, it doesn't say this turn or any of that. So if you can sit there and protect whatever this is with counter spells that are now reduced, it's over. The game's over. You can't play against that. That's too good, because then they'll just start dropping discounted draw spells too, and you've already lost. So yeah, that's going to be a disaster. Next up, put that many 1/1 counters on card name, then create twice that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. If you guys haven't had the displeasure of playing against the for every counter dropped on a creature this turn make a 1/1 bug creature token deck, it is absolutely atrocious. This sounds worse. I don't know, that just kind of has like the vibes of a like a 7 or 8 cost spell or something like that, because you're putting that many counters on it and then creating zombies. Like, whatever effect this is, it has to be extremely expensive, which means they probably made it cost 3 so they could sell it to commander players, then ban it a month later from standard. Next up, at the beginning of your end step, if you have exactly 13 life, win the game. He didn't say that, but what the hell else would you do? Wasn't that what that tree did? Or was that Triskite Echophobia? It was one of the two. I think it was the tree. Alternate win cons can kiss my ass. We all know that's what this is. Maybe it says double it. Maybe this is one of the doublers. Maybe it's the same card. Maybe it says if you have exactly 13 life, double it to 26. Who knows? But we all know deep down that since they have literally done it before with, I think, Tree of Perdition, too lazy to check, too disinterested, don't give a shit, that it says if you have exactly 13 life, win the game. We all know that's what the end of that sentence is. Next up, we've got you may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana cost. There you go, it is Storm. Told ya. Fantastic. Maybe it's 2 vanilla self-fetchers from hand and you get a bonus 1. Maybe it's, multi-kicker and you get to go get multiple from outside the game. I mean, where else would it be? Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's basically the end of standard as we know it. I know which way I'm leaning because, I mean, look at what they've ruined in the last 2.5 to 3 years. Nobody plays standard anymore. The power creep has gone nuts. Eldraine ruined everything. Ikoria didn't help. It honestly, if you don't even remember, started with Reflector Mage, which was the last time we were in Innistrad. And then it got worse with Energy. BFZ was a nightmare. Yeah, what an absolute trail of destruction they've done to drive everybody away from Standard, their main moneymaker. No wonder they brought back Double Masters. They want to make some money this year, and this sure as shit ain't gonna do it. And if you think I'm being overly pessimistic, it is literally because of your lack of knowledge of history of Magic over the last 3 years. You have not been paying attention, or you have not been playing the game that long, because trust me, I am being extremely generous and going soft on them, trust me. So that's it for that bullshit. Let's move on to the creature types, which I couldn't give less of a shit about. Although the first one is Hippogriff Spirit, so wov woo. That's not really what a hippogriff is. Shut up. Next up, we've got a human soldier werewolf, which, duh. A dragon egg. Oh, fantastic. Those are usually just so fair and balanced. A leech horror. If something removes counters, we could use that. That's usually what a leech subtype does. I mean, honestly, even like Modern and Commander could use that. There's very few cards that do that. A fungus horror, a plant horror, and a drake horror. I bet you these are remnants from the Eldrazi. These are like mutations that they're hunting down. So it's like kind of like Ikoria all over, except the end is in sight because the source is gone. That's an angle I didn't think it would take, although I really should have figured that. Because that's the state they left the plane in. So the Midnight Hunt might be the werewolves are on the villagers' side. I don't know if they've said something to contradict that. Because I heard the werewolves are generally good, I think. And so they might be helping guard against the mutants for the Harvest Festival. That'll be kind of interesting. Okay. We got a demon dog. All right. Sounds pretty Innistrad-y. Who's a good boy? Possibly not this card. We've got Legendary Creature Ooze, which I can get behind whatever the hell that is, and Legendary Creature Vampire Noble, because I guess they couldn't fit all the cards in the next set. I bet one of them will like show up at the Harvest Festival thing. Me and my family already had our damn Harvest Festival in like the end of July, and it was tasty. My watermelon was like on point. Also, I have a poor concept of time. It was last week. Look, I'm lucky I know what day it is, let alone what month it is. I bought a $2 Powerball and tried to check it 3 days early, man. I don't even know what the hell's going on. But if I win, I don't know if I can legally say this. Probably not, as if they'll catch me. Everybody in my Patreon's getting $1,000 minimum. Bare minimum. In fact, I might send you a bear. Oh, gee, a nice stuffed teddy. No, a live-ass bear. Bring it to F&M. So yeah, they did, at the end, actually confirm September 2nd. Tune into Twitch. Just kidding. Tune into Dislater Magic's channel. Mark said it. I read it. Just kidding. He did not say that. I don't think Mark watches my channel, or he would have seen about 1,000 compelling arguments for why he should resign from Wizards of the Coast. He clearly listens to a little bit different motivated sources than me. And that's how we got this bullshit. So honestly, this as a whole doesn't sound too bad, but the 2 permanents that can double something every turn, I almost don't care what the something is that should never happen ever, because it says each turn. It could be Parent Harmonicon, but that card was awful. It's one of those ones where it sounds not that bad until you actually see it get played and you're like, oh, it is that bad. But it could be a counter doubler, which is probably what it is. And what would be worse, a life total doubler? Like I said, they've done that in the past as like Divine Mantle or something like that. I got over 100,000 life and then was taught how commander damage works. They didn't feel like telling me that in the middle of the game until I've already lost. I'm like, yeah, I'll let you hit me. I had a whole line of blockers, and they straight face did not say shit about it. And they're like, haha, you've lost. I'm like, what? This was a long time ago, but I tell you want to piss me off the fastest, purposely don't tell me one of the rules until I've already lost. I was ready to light that asshole's deck on fire. Luckily, I did think it was a little funny, at least. Yeah, I mean, really, that get to exactly 13 life thing, that sounds awful. And that Storm Enabler and the other Storm Enabler. Okay, there actually is a lot to be concerned about. The counters plus Zombie Dumper sounds bad, but like I said, that's got to be a high-cost ability or spell. I don't know, there's some things to be concerned about, but we've seen worse, and they've turned into worse. Like, it wasn't just like alarmist, ooh, we'll see, and then it all turned out to be okay. That is literally never happened. Usually when he, like, inadvertently warns us about stuff, thinking that we'll get excited about it, then everybody wants it banned the second that we see it in the previews, the spoilers, not even when people start throwing it in decks like 2 weeks later. That's usually how these previews go. So as usual, I'm scared and I care more about the lore. I really don't like my 2022 queue disappearing, and people are saying, it isn't, it's just, it's gonna become the game. One, Book of Exalted Deeds is getting unbanned. They already said that, and they've neglected for 8 days now to reban it from the format that they said they're going to leave it banned in. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. It does not take 8 days to reban an already banned card in a format that you've already banned it in. I don't care how much they change the code. It's not that damn hard. It's probably 1 line in a database or 1 field on the card in a database. Like a binary value for a column that's named the format. I mean, come on. Oh, I heard that its own app, the part that's in beta for the little MTG, app thing that goes with F&M, it's getting card legalities wrong, which means it's not pulling from the normal database. So they've now fractured the database in 2 and nobody knows what they're really using. And then we're getting legalities wrong in Arena. So we now have 3 versions of the database, all of which don't agree. Oh, good. What a great idea to not use their own API to go to their own gatherer database and look up like card, Oracle text and legality. Yeah, just create the whole database from scratch again. That sounds like a great idea. Someone should tell them they have like 50,000 cards. So yeah, everything's a smoking crater disaster. I could read some of these comments, but this video's long enough. You can go read them on your own time. It's on markrosewater.tumblr.com or just, oh God, Google Blogatog. I'm sure there's not 2 things called that, so it'll probably be the first result. But if you're still on the fence, let me just read 1 comment. The 5th art variant is almost definitely Thoughtseize or Blood Moon. So, there's that. Oh, and they might bring Undying back. I said 1 comment, but I read 2. Have fun with those rolling around in your head until September 2nd. And tune in for these spoilers, because holy shit. I'll see you guys next video.